All right, so this was originally gonna just be a video talking about the Avengers, but then Minecraft came out, and then One Piece returned, and then all this other stuff kind of just started happening, and I wanted to talk about all of them, so I'm just gonna bunch them all into one video. Also, if I sound kind of stiff, I just got my wisdom teeth out, so yeah, that's it. Anyways, let's just get in the video.
Back a nigga cheese, 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 cheese. Back a nigga cheese, 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 cheese.
These past 2 weeks have been absolutely crazy. First, we got Marvel absolutely just throwing everything at the wall and putting every human being in Avengers Doomsday. Then we got Minecraft coming out, which is probably the craziest movie theater experience anybody has ever had since Endgame. We have One Piece returning, which is probably the craziest event in live television history, or at least one of them. That's a little bit of glaze. We got what's rumored to be a Frank Ocean album coming out. Yeah, I thought I could sneak that one in without anybody realizing it. Never mind. Daredevil Born Again is going absolutely insane right now. I'm gonna be honest, I've only seen the first 2.5 episodes, but I mean, still, media has been going absolutely crazy these past 2 weeks. All y'all needed was an upload from your boy, and you know, I got you. Alright, so Avengers Doomsday. This video is the first news that we've gotten from the movie besides the title reveal and the fact that RDJ is going to be Dr. Doom. And this is like a huge jump from that. I know all of us was watching this like Mr. Krabs in that one SpongeBob episode when he was wiping his eyeballs. I mean, dog, right when I saw they were bringing back the original Nightcrawler to play a big role, I was like, Sucker, I might as well be in this, bro. Like,
is this serious?
Y'all not agree? Okay, never mind. I'll see. After seeing the concept art being leaked of the film, showing the different comic line inspirations, the different character designs, and now the entire cast, which is definitely not going to be the entire cast of the movie. I mean, there were definitely some characters in the concept art that were not shown in the cast reveal, so they're definitely still trying to keep some stuff under the wraps, which seems crazy. This is planning to put Endgame to shame. If this is like the main cast lineup, I can only imagine what they have stored up, because you know there's definitely still going to be some surprises in this. Now, with something this big and something this cast centered, it does make me worried a little bit. Firstly, RDJ as Dr. Doom is something that I was not a fan of when they announced it, and I'm still not a fan of it at all. When it got announced, I remember thinking like this is the most obvious cash grab like ever.
What inspired you to
bring back RDJ as Dr. Doom?
Money!
Frankly, I was super surprised to see that a lot of people were really happy about this choice. I don't know about you guys, but I'm low-key tired of the multiversal stuff. I feel like they completely played it out to the point where it's not even interesting anymore. And all it does is undermine heroic moments or sacrifices, and it doesn't work for me anymore at all. And the other thing, the idea of having Dr. Doom be some variant of Iron Man or be connected to Iron Man and look like him for some reason just feels so weird. Dr. Doom is one of the most infamous comic book villains of all time. This is his first time being taken seriously and done right on the big screen, and they're taking the variant route. A villain this big and taking the variant route is not going to work. There are millions of die-hard fans of this guy who have been waiting for a good adaptation, and I feel like this is just whack. Now, don't get me wrong, I think RDJ is an incredible actor, but he's already so iconic to the character of Iron Man. And Iron Man had his 10 years in past and had plenty of villains that came out of his wake. And now they're making another villain come out of his wake nearly 20 years later. What sense does this make? By the time the movie's out, it's just gonna feel like they're retracing their steps and going back to what worked in the past. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with going back to what worked in the past, but if it comes at the price of deconstructing one of the most pivotal moments in the entire history of the franchise, it puts a lot at risk. So yeah, this whole RDJ thing as Dr. Doom absolutely has to work. If they're going down this route, there is literally no room for error or anything. After this, RDJ needs to be on the Mount Rushmore of comic book villain portrayals. Like, this has to be a generational kind of performance. The other thing that worries me is, well, this literally came out of nowhere. The Infinity Saga had been planned out well, and all of the films seamlessly built into this mystery of the Infinity Stones and Thanos coming to Earth to wipe out half of humanity. There were a few misses, but overall, the Infinity Saga was great and really changed the comic book movie, the comic book genre, forever. Next, we get to the Multiversal Saga, which I can't even tell you what it is building up to now. I don't want to be the guy to kick the dead horse, but comparing this to the Infinity Saga, it's not even a competition. The Multiverse Saga just feels like a disconjointed mess that doesn't build up to anything. Now, there were some things that kind of had a bit of linear, and there was Kang and the TVA. Those things kind of built themselves up to give the audience hope that there would be some kind of big finale consisting of them trying to, I don't know, save the timeline or something. But then it all just disappeared. Kang was built upon in Loki season 1 and 2 and also in Ant-Man 3, but then he was just never seen or heard from again. Well, it is also because he had some crazy allegations and Disney just decided to just drop him. And apparently all the plans for Kang Dynasty storyline as well. So then what happens? Do they try to find a replacement? Do they take some time off to brainstorm? Nah, they completely changed the entire story, the entire title, and slapped Doomsday on there, and then announced that RDJ is coming back to play Doctor Doom. The whole Kang Dynasty switch to Doomsday happened literally in less than a year. This is not just a name switch, this is a completely different movie. A completely different thing for all these films to build up to, and they just scrap it and move on just like that. This is another thing that had me worried. An event such as this, an event this big, being completely planned in such a short amount of time, really makes me think like how much thought and effort was put into this story, how much thought and effort was put into bringing back these roles and these characters. Obviously none. Now, I'm not saying this means that they were just like, yo, we gotta bring back everyone and everything was planned in like a drunk night. The movie idea could have been slightly put together, and it's something they can work on over the years until the film is out because they have plenty of time. It's just that I don't know, it's just something I think about and I wanted to bring to attention. This movie cannot be something that is rushed. We've seen what happens when a film tries to shove cameo after cameo down our throats in expense for a good story, and I don't want this film to turn out like that. Seems like they spent a lot of money on the cast, so I just hope it's not going to look like a video game. Now for the last thing is the massive cast that they got for this thing. When there's a movie coming back and you see a million familiar names and stuff.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Yes, sir, brother. A lot of people call this the No Way Home effect. After that movie came out, like every film franchise ever tried to replicate the same thing, trying to get audiences in the seats. And usually it worked, but the movie was never really that great. And we've seen the MCU replicate this plenty of times after the success of No Way Home. This could mean two things. Either they're genuinely bringing all these characters back for a purpose, and this is going to be the greatest comic book multiversal story told on the big screen, or they're just here to get the audience in the seat, come in for a few minutes, and then just die. Which I really hope isn't the case for any of these characters. This trope was kind of funny like the first 2 times it happened. If you're bringing these characters in, they have to work. These are real characters, not just placeholders. Each and every one of these characters hold a special place in different audiences' hearts. So let's treat them all as real characters and not just fillers for jokes or tropes to get the audiences in seats. If they utilize these things well, Avengers Doomsday could go down as one of, if not the most ambitious and greatest comic book movie of all time. Or it's going to be the biggest letdown in cinema history. This film has to work.
Flint and steel, chick and jockey, I am steel.
Now, there are 2 people who went to watch the Minecraft movie. One, a cinephile who adores writing and history making and just incredible movies. You know, you look at their letterbox, their top 4 is freaking Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, La La Land, and Whiplash. These guys, alright, that are going to watch Minecraft just so that they could log it as their 24,000th movie and give it a 1 star and say this is trash. The second person, incredibly intelligent man who understands what masterpieces really are, what poetry really is. The Minecraft movie is really something special. On one hand, you could go see it and think it's probably the worst slop that has ever been put to cinemas. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of agree with that. But on the other hand, there are the people who grew up with the game and had to wait their entire childhood, preteen, and teenage years for a Minecraft movie. I am also in that category to where the movie just feels like a nostalgic gift that was given to you, but it's a gift that you kind of grew out of and you don't want, and it's a really bad gift.
What kind of draw you like?
Minecraft had always been one of my favorite things when I was young. I remember I am actually so old that I do remember Minecraft Lite, and I remember when the sheep was like one of the only mobs in the game, when it was only zombies, and when you could reach the end of the world just by walking to it. I was about 6, I think, when I first started playing Minecraft, and now I'm 18, so I'm an adult, and the movie is finally here. Now, out of all the other video game movies that I had played as a kid and seen as movies now, let's say Sonic, the Mario game, what else is, I don't really know what else there is. But anyways, those two really kind of got movies early on or content early on, but Minecraft was never really one of those. I'd say that Minecraft story mode was like the only thing, but yeah, everybody knows how that ended up.
On his head.
It's hard to say whether or not what actually came out of the Minecraft movie was intentional or not, but either way, the movie is going to go down in history, not only as one of the worst experiences for a movie theater employee ever, but just as a movie turning into something that it's really not. We've seen other movies try to do the thing where they realize like, yo, the kids actually love us, like, yo, we're a meme right now, like we could capitalize on this. And I don't think any movie has capitalized on this level as a Minecraft movie. This thing totally wiped out Snow White, and it doesn't matter how terrible Snow White was or how terrible everybody knew it was going to be. A live action Disney remake flopping is something that is just unheard of, especially Snow White, and especially the amount of controversy that was around this movie. First, it was Despicable Me, everybody dressing up in suits to go watch the movie, them getting yeet on the project to bring in a lot of the younger audience. The movie did well, but a lot of people forgot about it the next time around, and by the time Despicable Me, what, 4 came out, nobody was even, like, nobody really cared. Morbius is another one. It flopped miserably in the theaters, then everybody kind of started making jokes about it making like $1 more billion, so they re-released it in theaters just for it to flop even worse. I'm trying to think what else. Five Nights at Freddy's, I feel like could have done something like this, but they did kind of stay, they did try to take the project a lot more serious, and me personally, I actually really enjoyed it. But this movie, this is just on a whole other level. I saw the movie on the Sunday or the Monday after it came out, so I missed the first 3 days, the premiere night, the release day night, and then the day after premiere. Bro, usually I try to go watch Marvel movies on the day of just so I can be in that crowd. It's like, I remember back in the day in middle school when my dad wouldn't take me to the movie theaters on the Fridays when the movies came out. He would take me like the Saturday or the Sunday after. Dog, my crowd would be dead. It's like I went on a school night and people were screaming all around me, bro.
Let's go!
Like, people are still buying theaters out for this movie, and it's crazy. It's even crazier when you think about the fact that when was the last time people actually got together to go to the movie theater and it wasn't a big meme movie? Marvel movies used to feel like big events. When I was in school and I actually got to be in a big crowd, I loved being in there because it was something that felt so rare. I remember when I watched Joker, when I watched Dune Part 2, when I went to see Mickey 17, all of these were great movies. Not counting you. I was in some dead cinemas. Maybe it's because of the times that I went, but either way, I hadn't been in a theater that was so packed in so long. And there's two things that's kind of wrong with this. One, it doesn't deserve to be a movie that's packed out, and I hate saying that because I had a great time and it was fun, and I don't want to be that guy that hates on fun, but like when you have artists that are pushing out for these incredible movies and nobody's going to see them, and then everybody's going to see the dumb meme movie, you're kind of wasting your money. But maybe you're not, because it was a 1 out of 1 experience, and I would go see the movie again, I'm not gonna lie. And then the other thing is that other movies are gonna try to replicate what Minecraft did, and it is going to be terrible. So this movie can either just be one staple that we all look up to and we all thank for an incredible time, but it is something that we're gonna have to pray doesn't happen again. Because if a Roblox movie comes out soon and I got somebody telling me that it's gonna be the backstory of how John Doe became a villain, I'm
南の島はあったけパイナップルプル頭ポカポカアホばっか
Now, quick disclaimer before I get into this section. I'm not caught up yet.
Really?
I'm currently trying to just pace myself nice so that I don't have to starve myself for a new episode every single week, even though I am pretty much basically almost there. I'm on Whole Cake Island right now, and I am going to save a video fully talking about One Piece just because I want to talk about the storytelling and everything, because it's just so fantastic. But I just wanted to say a little something about the break and then them coming back. This is an insane thing that they did. I'm aware that Oda has the #1 selling manga like ever with One Piece, so it makes sense that they are able to go on such a big break in the middle of an arc and then come back. It's insane to me that they can do that, come back with the same fan base and even more. Solo Leveling, everybody has been talking about that. I haven't watched it yet because I'm just trying to grind out One Piece so I can get caught up. That show, I know, has just been like aura farming the show and like has been going crazy and hitting #1 on all the charts and everything. It's like a One Piece comes back after 6 months, half a year, comes back and is instantly back at #1. Y'all suckers remember when Invincible tried to do that? Everybody forgot about it when it came back for season 2. And that show was still very big. This is insane to me. I also see another thing that a lot of people are complaining about, the way that Toei is doing Sanji, and I feel like I'm just at the perfect point of the show to where I can actually voice an opinion. I've never read any of the manga. I've read like a couple chapters from the beginning. I own like serious? One. I know there's a clear difference in the Sanji that Oda writes and the Sanji that we see in the show, and I think that is, I think it's really disappointing. Sanji, I think, is easily one of the coolest characters, but obviously for, I mean, the reason he's a pervert, that knocks him down a couple billion notches. He was one of the sole reasons that I could barely get through Fishman Island, because one of the most lethal plot points of the show was that he was getting too much nosebleeds and he was actually going to die from that. I think he easily has some of the best moments out of any of the characters. The scenes in Water 7 when he was looking for Robin, and when he was fighting Bluno, when he was actually able to kick him, that was so hard. And all of this stuff in Whole Cake with his character is just incredible. His character arc, his ideologies, the stuff that he stands for, I think is all incredible. And the fact that they're kind of treating him as a throwaway character kind of sucks to me, and I hope that it's something that they can fix by the time that I do get caught up, because at the point where I'm at now, I feel like every character has a moment to shine. Everybody really is an incredible character. I'm noticing Brook is going absolutely insane in this arc, and he's definitely climbing up in my rankings. But Whole Cake as a whole just proves that Sanji is a lot more of an interesting and intricately written character than what Toei gives him credit for, seeing as how they're treating him in Egghead. Anyways, for the One Piece video, I might wait till I'm done with Wano, or at least halfway done with Wano, or at least till I get to Gear 5. I don't know yet. I mean, if it's something that you guys want to see sooner, just let me know. But yeah, anyways, that's it for the One Piece section. Yeah, I didn't really have a lot. So anyways, guys, that's gonna be the end of the video. A lot of stuff we covered. Hope you guys have a good night. You know, have a good sleep, dream big, dream safe, and God loves you. Bye. I'll see you in the next video.
Are you sure?